Rise and shine, summer's over. It's time to get our shit together because it is Virgo season, honey. So, what is a Virgo exactly? Well, we're the list makers. We're always analyzing, we thrive on fixed routines, but with all that structure comes a lot of overthinking. We also love to criticize, we worry about things that will probably never happen, and we resist change, especially sudden changes. Basically, we're perfectionists. I mean, is it bad that the AC is on? No. Basically, we're perfectionists. I mean, look at Beyonce, case closed. Here's the thing. I don't know how true all these horoscope signs are. I don't see them as like an end-all be-all, but I do like to see these signs as a little mirror. It shows us a set of traits that we either vibe with or get icked out by. Plus, learning about the signs just makes me more aware of how people are wired, and most importantly, it makes me remember my friends' birthdays. So that's why I thought it'd be super fun to zoom in on each sign every single month and highlight the strengths we could all borrow. And why not start off with Virgo? It's the best one. So we're gonna dive into the aesthetics of a Virgo. When I think Virgo beauty, I think clean, glowing skin, precision. I mean, I feel like these are traits that everybody wants, but let the Virgos just have this one, okay? Since Virgos are ruled in Mercury, we're very detailed obsessed. For the eyes, we gotta go neutral. I mean, our sign is Earth, and nothing screams Earth like shades of brown, beige, soft taupes, maybe like a little bit of shimmer, but not too flashy. We also don't really like switching things up. If we find a product that we really like, we will ride for it. We're very devoted. All right, guys, this is the finished look. What's even better is that it took 15 minutes to do. Virgos love efficiency. I'm just like mentally preparing myself to stop procrastinating. Today, I thought that I would just knock out the things on my to-do list. I think nothing makes a Virgo happier than seeing a list and then crossing them out. Let's get started with some bullet journaling. Yes, I still have a digital to-do list and a calendar, but like having something tangible just makes everything really stick. I don't go over the top. In fact, all my spreads are very uniform each month. I find that this process is super meditative for me. It's just a great activity for me to be away from my screen, and I think it makes me feel more calm about my future because I'm like physically seeing it out. This is my preferred way to log my life. I've been reading a lot of books these days, physical copies of books to be exact. But now comes my very Virgo step of transferring all my messy notes into something that is clean, organized, and usable. Quick thanks to Google for sponsoring this portion of the video. I have been using Google Gemini to make the most out of my reading. I finished Plato's Symposium, which was extremely dense. I am going to dump all my notes into Gemini, and then I'm gonna ask Gemini to turn this chaos into clean, structured study notes. It's like having everything in my brain reformatted. I can even have Gemini define words that I didn't know, such as encomiast. What does that mean? Oh, interesting. Explain it to me like I'm 4. This is great because now I can even explain things to my son so he understands. And if I want to go even deeper, I can ask Gemini to create some journaling prompts for me. These are deep. Basically, Gemini just helps me push past just reading into really learning and applying it to my life. If you are a college student, you can get the Gemini Pro plan free of charge for the entire year. Just make sure you sign up before October 6th. I'll leave the link in my description box, so definitely go check it out. So on the topic of books, I thought I would just do a quick lightning review of the books I've read this month. Starting off with Franny and Zoe. They're both going through it in their own way, wondering what the meaning in life is, and she's trying to find transcendence through spirituality. But her brother kind of like shuts her down, saying like, humans kind of have this insatiable need to always want more. They're always like accumulating. We're like collecting. We're collecting material items. We're collecting knowledge. And then once you're bored of that, you start collecting things in the spiritual realm. There's just a lot of interesting themes in this book that had my brain ticking. Next, we have My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Reading this was like experiencing one long hangover. I wouldn't recommend this. Now here's a book I would recommend. This is Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking. Joan Didion had a horrific year. Her husband died and then her daughter was in critical condition. So this is basically about her whole journey on that. So this is Immaculate Conception. This was a book recommended by With Cindy. I love her book recs, by the way. I just love her whole channel. This is a very interesting book about friendships and envy and how that can just destroy you. Plus, I really like how it was set in like the near future. Like everything felt like plausible. Now we have Scumbag Summer. I mean, the title speaks for itself. Her writing style to get used to because it's almost like poetry, and sometimes when things get like too literary for me, I'm like, all right, calm down. But once I got past that, I was like, you know what? Okay, girl, do your thing. I don't know. I feel like I have these weird judgments in my head because I do prefer reading nonfictions. But now that I'm on my fiction journey, I'm just getting to know different styles. Like not everything has to be so like matter of fact, give me information, like let me optimize everything. It's like, no, sometimes things are about just feeling. And that's what this book is. Now we have mothers and other fictional characters. If you are a mother, you have to read this book. You will feel so seen. At least that's how I felt. I love the fact that she has daughters and a son. So she's really able to articulate the concerns of having a son and the concerns of having a daughter and obviously the joys of both. But honestly, like she was able to describe so many things in my head that I haven't been able to really express. Reading Plato's Symposium was humbling, to say the least. I thought now that I'm more of a bookworm, this would be a piece of cake, or at least I would be able to comprehend a little bit better. This was pretty confusing, I'm not gonna lie. But instead of getting frustrated, I just kind of powered through. If there were things I didn't understand, I would just kind of I would still read it. But then if there were little moments that I did understand, I'd be like, I just kind of grab onto that. It's kind of like if you're learning a language and you're like, you understand some of the things people are saying, you kind of infer what's going on. That's what this experience felt like to me. But honestly, like, thank God I had Google Gemini to kind of walk me through this. Now that I have my notes, I'm gonna read it back again. And you know, maybe with each year, I'll understand it more and more. So yeah, those are the books that I finished in September. Yes. My baby is turning 4. One of the reviews mentioned that this piñata isn't very big, so I got 2. I might as well do like a little piñata haul. First, we've got Ferrero Rochers. These are my favorite chocolates. And I've got Hershey Kisses and cookies and cream, gummy bears, individual little packets. And then for like a healthy, savory option, Chomps. I don't know if the kids will like it, but we'll see. Finally, some scented gel pens. Not everything in the piñata needs to be edible, so I thought that these would be a nice wild card. That's crazy. How does that work? This is the most random piñata ever. Both 4s are officially stuffed, and honestly, they're pretty heavy. Wow. Maybe it's the pens. The kids are going to need little bags to pick up their treats. Oh my God, this is gonna be very exciting.
You're not in it, you're not in it. The video of it. Try to be careful, make sure it doesn't. Wow! There you go.
Low-key, Virgos love to criticize. what can we say? We just notice things. So I thought I would lean into that and channel my inner food critic. So today we are here at Gemma in Hollywood. This is a restaurant that I have been dying to go to for years. It's been saved on my Google Maps. It's hilarious how I determine everywhere I go based on the reviews, yet I have not written a review myself. Right? It's kind of whack. I like the vibe here, honestly. I really like the color palette at this restaurant. They've chosen for a lot of rich jewel tones. And then I see that they did pops of gold, which is honestly my favorite metal. Look what just came. This is a whole ass feast and I'm so pumped. Ah! So I ordered the spicy rigatoni and then a small kale salad on the side. Everyone was talking about how delicious this rigatoni was. So let's give it a go. Wow. Okay. They were not playing with this rigatoni. No. Spice level, pretty moderate. There's like a gentle heat in the background. Pasta, perfectly cooked. Phenomenal. Okay, now let's try the kale salad. This is the small kale salad. And it honestly is quite a generous portion. This is supposed to be a single serving. I love the fact that they chopped up the kale into very fine pieces. Nothing's harder to chew than a kale salad where it's just the full leaf. There's green onion in here. This is not a bland kale salad by any means. There's like green onion here, so it adds that like, I was gonna say stank, but you know what I mean. Onions be stanky, in a good way. So what is my verdict? Oh my god, it's so bright. I'm gonna give it a 4.8. I don't even know what would make it a 5. I would absolutely go back again, but for dinner, and order more food. I think I'm reserving the 0.2 because there's a lot of the menu I haven't explored yet. And I also don't know what it's like when it's a little bit busier. I went when it was completely empty. So the whole experience was fabulous. Service was fast, everyone was nice. I got to pick whatever table I wanted. So yeah, Gemma gets my Virgo stamp of approval. These days, I find myself walking a lot. And the great thing about walking is it never gets stale because there's always a different type of walk for every mood. The walk that I tend to do the most is the one where I just pop in a podcast. I feel like this is like the perfect time to spend time with thinkers, intellectuals, and just catch up with what's going on in the world. For example, I love Ezra Klein. His episode that he did with Gia Tolentino, it like blew my mind. You're like basically multitasking. You're walking and you're learning. So there's something about this combination that makes me profoundly happy. Of course, there are days where I just don't want to listen to chatter. I just want to listen to music. And this is when my Spotify playlist really comes through. So I organize my Spotify like a filing cabinet. So when I'm just exploring random playlists, I'll be very generous with my likes. Even if I just like a song a little bit, I'll just hit the heart because I want to save it. And then when I have some time, I will categorize each song into different playlists. So I've got chill, classic, chaotic, and current. I feel like these 4 categories really embody who I am and what I'm feeling at the moment. I think it's like mad annoying when I'm feeling really introspective and then just this random party bass song comes on, you know what I mean? And lastly, I've got the raw dog walk, which is quite frankly a walk I should do more often. It's basically when you have no music, no headphones, it's just you, your thoughts, and the environment around you. I think it's just like the first 5 to 10 minutes where it feels really overwhelming because it's really overstimulating to be outside because it's a lot of stuff that's out of your control. But once you like go over that hump, you just feel a lot more attuned with your surroundings. And honestly, I've had like my best breakthroughs and my ideas from a raw dog walk. Promise you, you will feel at least 40% better than when you started. And you won't regret your walk ever. Like there's not a single walk that I've ever regretted. I'm always thankful that I did. So yeah, if you are an overthinking Virgo like me, try one of these 3 walks. I feel like September is always a very reflective month for me. Like it was the month I was born. It was also the month that I gave birth. So it's like a natural check-in on how the whole year went. And as I was reflecting, I was really struggling to find like a specific milestone that defined this whole year. But then I realized it's because I was like looking through it through like a work-oriented lens. But when I shifted it to more of like a personal life lens, I was like, actually, I feel good. I feel like this year was the year of building a routine again. So it was like a lot of going to the gym and spending time with my son and my family and my friends and cooking at home. When I look at it like that, I'm like, dang, I had a really excellent year and I'm proud of these habits because no one died thinking, oh, I wish I worked more. I feel like I'm happy with this routine and the habits I've made this year. It's like that Aristotle quote, we are what we repeatedly do, so excellence then is not an act but a habit. So good. Let me just put on my critical Virgo hat on. Next year, I want to strive for a higher level of excellence. You feel me? Because if I'm so real with myself, this year I did procrastinate a lot. I really did, especially when it involved creativity. I was like constantly delaying, postponing, and I just ended up never doing anything because I wanted it to be perfect. Like I have these big ideas in my head and I felt like if I couldn't execute it with precision, then I shouldn't do it at all. But that's such bullshit. Like it really is, because I ended up just not doing anything. You know, I just stayed in my comfort zone. In that sense, I felt very frustrated and stifled because I feel like I didn't used to be this way. Before, I would have a goal and I would just keep trying to shoot for it. Even if I missed, I'd still shoot. But by continuously shooting, I'd finally get to the mark. And I feel like this series is a step in the right direction because I had a lot of fun filming this. I think it kind of prompts what kind of activities I do in a vlog. I know Libra season is coming up, so any Libras out there, please let me know what you're like and what activities may be specific to you, like any preferences. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.